gentlemen, Gungans and droids across our beloved empire. Welcome to Donald Holiday News, the only news you ever need because you have no other choice. And people are going crazy today. They're like, Donald, it's finally happening. We're getting a Sandbox mode in Galaxy of Heroes. Sorry, Chief. CG clickbaited the Galaxy Heroes community really darn good. We got a new game mode coming to Galaxy Heroes, and the initial impression reaction people have based on the title, we thought our dreams were coming true, and a Sandbox mode was coming to Galaxy Heroes. Come on, you guys know who's running a game around her. You think they'd want to do something like that? I'll explain why there might be a little bit of confusion and why people think we might be getting a Sandbox mode. Based off the read of this new game mode called Proving Grounds, I think it's addressing something that needs to be addressed, that being how to get conquest characters a little bit faster, because some of the conquest units like Razor Crest needed for Executor, Commander Tano, it's not even needed for Kenobi, but Kenobi's so much better. With her, there's this meta that's a bit out of reach, and they're trying to address it by creating this new game mode called Proving Grounds, but it seems to go against CG's principle. It's a game mode that not everyone's going to be accessible. Oddly enough, it seems like it's not going to be accessible for people like me, but I think there's an upside to those that need to get conquest. And I feel like they could have done this so much differently, but let me explain why some people think there's a little bit of confusion. For all my Marvel Strike Force people that also play Galaxy Heroes, you guys remember that about 2 years ago, it's funny how Capital Games, Star Wars Galaxy, Marvel Strike Force, they've been kind of like borrowing stuff from one another. When they released their Sandbox, so their private player versus player real-time Sandbox, I know, isn't that crazy? Like mobile games of HeroClix actually do that. Anyways, when they released it back in 2020, their first initial test run, they did kind of like a little event called Proving Grounds, where as you played more matches of this new Sandbox player versus player Sandbox mode, you would get milestone rewards, getting a bunch of stuff like character shards, resources. And that's why some people thought we were getting a Sandbox mode here, because they had something called Proving Grounds in Galaxy or Marvel Strike Force. However, that does not seem to be the case. To give CG a little bit of credit here, they do have something called Proving Grounds, but it's just a Galactic Challenge modifier. I'll show you what the real-time Grand Arena, a real-time player versus player looks like at Marvel Strike Force in a moment. But let's go take a look at this new update that's coming on. This happened super late last night. It was really weird. It's one of the latest posts I've seen from Capital Games in a long time on the forums. But nonetheless, we're approaching the 1 year mark of Commander Ahsoka Tano in Galactic Conquest. Much like the Razor Crest, she will be moving out of the mode and relocated to a brand new game mode. So I don't know if she's also going to be in a shipment like the Razor Crest, but let's look at this. Commander Tano will be heading to our new mode. I think this is a very bare minimum definition of what a game mode should be called, but it's called Proving Grounds. This mode will have a monthly cadence and will allow you to earn her shards for free. Okay, so long as you have the prerequisites to enter. Must not already own a 7-star unit, so that's someone like me. A lot of you other guys, a lot of people have Commander Ahsoka Tano. She was pretty accessible before they kind of ruined Conquest. A lot of people were able to get her for free until they started making those changes, which we don't need to emphasize here. Must not already own this enough shards, the 7-star unit. So if you've been like hoarding up currency, if it sees you have 330 shards, you're not going to be able to play this game mode. Again, kind of weird. Once you obtain the unit at 7 stars or enough shards to 7-star the unit, they will no longer be accessible. This is not meant to be a source of shard shop currency. This is an opportunity to give characters that were once exclusive to Conquest. And this is the question right here. Will we see other things there? Inside of Proving Grounds, they're also going to add things like the Razor Crest to be farmable, and they're not going to remove from fleet shipments. So I'm hoping, because here's the, well, let's finish reading the post, but I'm hoping they're also going to have another sister cousin place to kind of farm Commander Ahsoka Tano as like kind of like called the Razor Crest. Razor Crest will be in Proving Grounds, and it's also available in fleet shipments, albeit a little bit random. How many shards can I earn per event? This is kind of the interesting thing. Players can earn 20 shards for the character or ship by beating the appropriate tier each time the event comes up. While the event is up, they can spend Crystal Refresh and clear it a limited amount of time. So let's say you're starting from scratch. You have 0 shards of Commander Ahsoka Tano, like my free-to-play account. You're looking at somewhere between 16, 17 months to get the unit to 7 stars, which you can't use it at anything lower. So it would take 16, 17 months, assuming you don't refresh and assuming they don't put it in another area like the fleet. So definitely still a long amount of time, but I guess it's better. It's hard to say. It's a nice addition because we need a way to get people more Commander Ahsoka Tanos. I don't know if that's the best way, but hopefully there's another way to farm Tano so it doesn't take that long. And hopefully crystal refreshes aren't like 2,000 per refresh. We have to wait and see. It's such a big post. It doesn't even explain really what the game mode looks like. Which units can I use in Proving Ground? The base requirement to participate is Relic 3. It's not incredibly high, but still not incredibly accessible for brand new players. Relic 3 is not that hard to get to, but as a brand new player, you're looking at probably like what, 4, 5, 6 months before you get your first Relic character in Galaxy Heroes if you're starting up brand new. But you'll be able to use any unit you own that meets requirements. So I have Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. We just got him 2 weeks ago. I can use him in the event to get Commander Ahsoka Tano shards. And they are going to be adding more units to the Proving Ground as a location for players to earn specific units over time. At the initial release, Commander Ahsoka Tano and the Razor Crest will be the 2 available units. So here's what it sounds like to me. I think this is a very bare minimal definition of a game mode. I think it sounds like the Galactic Bounties. You know, when you want to get some Enfys Nest shards. I think they have one of Imperial Probe Droid, Rebel Officer Leia Organa. It sounds like it's just a newer version of that happened to have a title, something lucrative that Marvel Strike Force did, that being a Sandbox. I think they should have called it something else. Don't get me started on how I would love to have a Sandbox mode in Galaxy, at least something just real time, having fun, nonchalantly, whatever the case might be. It's a step in the right direction that satisfies or attempts to satisfy the need of getting people those top shelf items that are important to move forward in Galaxy of Heroes. However, we get a lot of like run around about why can't we have X, Y, or Z game mode in Galaxy Heroes, and usually we get this conversation from them that there needs to be like a good bang for buck return on investment, or something that everyone's going to want to play. It sounds like that this is going to be a very limited game mode to an audience that doesn't have it, but it's a game mode that not everyone can play, which is kind of a little bit weird. Again, I'm happy they're finding more ways to release these shards, but it's something that I feel like could have been done a little bit differently. And you know what? On that note, let me just take you on over here to Marvel Strike Force just for a moment. I play a lot of mobile games. I've been playing Marvel Strike Force for years now because it's kind of funny. I do notice that Galaxy, they borrow stuff from Marvel Strike Force. Marvel Strike Force borrows some stuff from Galaxy. For example, Marvel Strike Force is getting their own Grand Arena pretty shortly here in the near future. But in this game mode, when Proving Grounds first released, as you would play these battles, like I'm just gonna put a random team in. Yeah, sure, go ahead. So we're actually searching for an opponent right now, and we're gonna play a real-time arena match. And as you play more of these things, you get certain character shards, certain gear, certain rewards. I think they could have done this Proving Grounds in a similar way, where it could have been a game mode that everyone could play, and it would have resources that people might need, such as Commander Ahsoka Tano. Or if you already have Commander Ahsoka Tano, there's other things that people might want to get. Zetas, Omicrons, gear, something of that sort. So I feel like I'm just gonna hit auto here, but I'm actually playing with someone in real time. We're playing against Raytheon right now, and it's their turn. So there we go. They're taking their time. They're doing their thing. I'm not gonna play much of the game because I want to talk over, but I feel like if they use the word Proving Ground, and I get why people got a little con thinking that we're getting a Sandbox, but it really is unfortunate, because I was just thinking today as well. It's like, man, I like Grand Arena, but it really sucks that, if you win or lose, you want to play more. Even if it's just for fun, just getting some extra side rewards, nothing too crazy, or even just for free. I would love to be able to just constantly play with other people in Grand Arena, because especially if you lose, it's like you have the sour taste, and it's like, I got to wait another 2-3 days or another week to start the next Grand Arena cycle. So I feel like there could have been a way to kind of satisfy getting people those conquest shards a bit more accessible, because that is a legitimate issue that we have. I want people to get their Katanos, I want people to get their Mauls, I want people to get their Razor Crest, but they're kind of going against their grain of creating a game mode that's not for everyone, and they could have definitely done something a little bit more exciting, in my opinion. So I don't know, just putting it out there that since the word Proving Ground came out, I thought it was kind of reasonable to bring up Marvel Strike Force and how they first implemented the Proving Grounds real-time arena back in 2020. I wanted this game mode to be a little bit more exciting for Galaxy Heroes, but nonetheless, I'm gonna pass the ball over to you guys. I think we can all agree that, I will say, I do see some people that are kind of mad that they're making Commander Ahsoka Tano more accessible. I'm always in the camp. I want more people to get the latest units. I want more people to have their grind eased, but at the same time, there's gotta be meaningful ways to make meaningful content that we all can enjoy at the same time. And I feel like on that mark, CG missed it big time. And I think it's just them being bitter, not wanting to give us a game mode that we all can play, enjoy, and have fun with one another in real time. Isn't that funny, Gary? Anyways, I'm going to end the conversation right there. Pass the ball over to you guys. Leave a like, comment down below, subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And most importantly, always remember that it's great to be in the Empire today.